Howdy out there, everyone. Today we're going to be taking a look at this mixed bag of a film called Murder in the First, a 1995 release starring Christian Slater, Kevin Bacon, and Gary Oldman. Now, I think that the performances by Kevin Bacon and Gary Oldman, in and of themselves, warrant this film a watch. It's a terrific acting display by both actors. I think in particular Kevin Bacon has never been better. He was so believable in this. And, Christian Slater, I think he can be good, and I thought he was serviceable in this film, but he was definitely doing his sort of Christian Slater thing, kind of channeling Jack Nicholson's cadence and, being cool, which is fine, but I'm not sure that the character that he played was as polished as that. I would have thought he'd be a little more unsure of himself, at least in the courtroom. Having said all that, I think that on balance, the film has more to like than not. I think it could have been a really a powerhouse courtroom drama because, of course, it's based on a true story of a prisoner in Alcatraz that apparently was put in the hole, the solitary confinement, for I think 3 years with like one 30-minute break a year. And it was as a consequence of this case that Alcatraz eventually was closed, and the treatment of prisoners by way of solitary confinement was thankfully changed, because of course it is a rather inhumane way to treat anyone. And while I get there are certain individuals that certainly have done so many horrible things that could justify revoking of privileges, I think that's a step too far, and I think the film does a good job at depicting that in a historical fiction fashion. Now, the direction of this film is a little odd because I feel like it focused too much on sort of almost masturbatory camera angles and odd movements with the camera that I don't think served the story. I would have preferred more close-ups and more of a traditional lensing strategy, but that's to each his own. I'm sure some people thought that was a stylistic flourish that worked. I just didn't care for it. The other thing I think hurt the film was the score was incredibly manipulative and generic. It wasn't as though every moment that there was music it was intrusive, but there were just moments that I felt really should have been dialed back, because the drama itself is really what's so impressive about the film, and you don't need bombastic, manipulative music to tell you how to feel. I mean, the drama and the acting do that, and I just feel like it was a missed opportunity by the producers to perhaps tell the composer to dial it back. I mean, for all I know, they told the composer to really ramp it up. So I'm not necessarily faulting the person who composed the music, but it just doesn't work for the film. So again, I would just say Kevin Bacon and Gary Oldman, two terrific actors, giving terrific performances, and a fascinating piece of historical, penal code account. The historical fiction element, I'm sure they took some dramatic liberties and tweaked things here and there, but I think on balance it mostly hews to what actually happened. And I think that the story itself is fascinating enough to warrant a film adaptation. And like I said, I think on balance there's enough there to warrant a watch, and certainly to marvel at what Kevin Bacon in particular brought to the proceedings. And look out for a cameo by his wife, Kira Sedgwick, in a really touching scene that was pretty hard to watch. She was very game to play that part and to be there with her husband in that very vulnerable moment. So on that note, the Blu-ray itself looks fine and nothing revelatory, but it certainly has a decent picture and audio quality to it. and there are some supplemental features that are of some interest. So definitely worth a watch, but perhaps a little bit of a missed opportunity. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Please be kind, stay safe, and keep watching cinema.